Okay, well, welcome back, everyone. You know, there are several different words that I said were on my banned words list today. Programmatic, Irwin said he doesn't like. There's a lot of different ways to look at programmatic advertising. There's a lot of different ways to think about what programmatic means. Automation is what Irwin really wanted, if you were here before lunch, us to think of it as. He felt that programmatic was somehow not the appropriate way to describe the tool sets. What I would argue is that there are different ideas around the use of data to drive commerce. Algo trading has been on Wall Street for a while. Anybody who has been paying attention to Wall Street knows that there are all kinds of algorithmic ways to trade stocks, front run the market, do whatever it is you're going to do with computers and with algorithms to make your way in the electronically traded markets. We were down at the New York Stock Exchange about a year ago. We got to ring the bell at the exchange. It was kind of fun. And the previous time I had been on the floor was literally 8 years earlier, pre-2008. And this was just before the financial crisis. And I don't go to the floor of the exchange that often, but what was interesting is how few people were there. And I was told by the docent who was taking me around the New York Stock Exchange that pre-2008, it took 12 seconds to do a trade electronically. And the day that I was there, which is about a year ago, they were into the microsecond time duration for doing trades. And co-location was the business they were in. I thought that was interesting. And if you look at automated trading companies or algorithmic trading companies in the financial markets, what you see are programs that are so complicated that they're not like autopilot. And so what we have to think about is what that means, not like autopilot. When we think of automation, some kind of automated trading, many of us think of an autopilot where the pilot's in a plane flying the plane, and he flips on the autopilot flies the plane just flies, and then when they need manual control back, they take manual control back. And if something bad happens to the airplane, if something happens to the computer system that's flying the plane, the pilot can just, or the co-pilot can take over by grabbing the yoke and actually flying the plane. That's not what happens in a computer trading environment. The model is put online. The model is taking in information, it's operating on that information, and it comes up with something it wants to do. If the model misbehaves and is not profitable, no human being is capable of taking the data in, making any adjustments, and flying this plane. They have to take the model down, recalibrate the model, and put the model back up. Because the level of complexity is past the point of human capability. So this is not automation the way we understand automation. This is computerized trading. And so if I want to send a 960 by 540 pixel piece of content to the top layer or the home screen or lock screen of a device in Duluth, Minnesota, when it's raining, if there's a sale on something or other, the only way to traffic that is through automation. The only way to get that programmed is an automated tool set. No people are going to sit there and try and get thousands of different pieces of content distributed to hundreds of different places with what ends up being millions of combinations. And so Irwin was trying to tell us that programmatic isn't a good word for what he does with his exchange-traded advertising because it's not programmatic. Some of it's automated, some of it's digital trafficking. There is some exchange-based trading. This is a very misunderstood concept. This is a very misunderstood piece of business. We constantly talk about data. We constantly talk about what data-driven marketing is. We always hear words like big data, unstructured data. There's so many definitions for each one of these that you must actually, when you go to a meeting, you must actually define it at the beginning of the meeting. We are going to talk about unstructured data sets. Today's meeting, this means the following. We are going to talk about structured data sets. Today's meeting, this means the following. It's just easier. And if you can't actually start there, you'll be surprised how ineffective your meetings will be and how ridiculous the outcomes will be because programmatic, the word has no meaning. But today, we have a job. Our job is to try and understand in the scheme of the new media landscape, which is our theme for the day, what does programmatic advertising, what does it mean? And the title of this panel, When Will It Just Be Advertising, is really an important concept for everyone to sort of embrace. Right now, it's a separate thing that means a lot of different things depending on which tool set you're applying, but in a very short period of time, because as I have said often, and will say often again, today is you're experiencing the slowest rate of change you'll ever experience for the rest of your life. At some point in the very near future, it's just going to be how advertising is done.